Welcome, Eastern Oregon. Keeping it clear with Cody Bowne. We're back. It's been a little while, but this show is a live interactive show with me and Sheriff Cody Bowne. We take your questions, and if you don't ask questions, then guess what? I ask the questions. It is sponsored by Loveland Safe Ride right here in La Grande, and this show wouldn't happen if it wasn't for them. And then there's a lot of things that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for them. There wouldn't be these wonderful rides for people during major events in Union County. Loveland Safe Ride gives people rides home so they don't drive drunk, and they save lives. And that's just the bottom line. Joining me tonight is Sheriff Bowen, as usual. Cody, what's up?
How are you, man?
I'm excellent. I am excellent. I'm ready to do this. We look forward to people's comments, and we'll get it started. Let's start off with Stock Show. How was it?
Stock Show was great this year. We had Thursday night. I went out and worked, and we had the best turnout that I've ever seen out there for the Ed Miller bull riding. It was I don't even know how many people exactly, but I've never seen the VIP completely shoulder to shoulder. I've never seen it that packed before. But then the bridge going to the white bleachers all underneath the white bleachers, and then the far end brown bleachers down at the end by the horse racing pens, completely stacked with people all in front of them, shoulder to shoulder to the infield. It was a great turnout. The bull riding was fantabulous. The weather held off great. It didn't start raining until right to the end. And then the rest of the week I went out and Friday, the wife and I went out and watched the rodeo. I actually got a ride from Loveland, ride there and a ride home. So thankful for that service. But nice. It was a good turnout. It was a good week, and we didn't have anything necessarily go wrong as far as the law enforcement element at Stock Show this year. We had one DUI that wasn't related to Stock Show, somebody that wasn't attending Stock Show, and then we had a fight between a couple individuals, but totally non-Stock Show related. So it was a win-win for everybody out there.
Yeah, back in the days, there's a lot more going on at Stock Show, in terms of drinking and driving and fighting, and it seems like we have a really good thumb on that.
Yeah, we do. And I think a lot of it's just been, people learning over the years, that the fighting stuff, it's not worth it anymore. Both people usually end up going to jail. It causes more of a problem in the morning. It's frowned upon by your employer, assuming you're employed. And then, you've got, the accidents over the year that have taken place on that highways and the deaths, and really, it weighs heavily on folks' minds. So I think they're paying attention more, and there's still consequences for DUI. So it's presence has been a big thing. We had OSP help us out there this year a couple times. We had some troopers walking through. Thank you to Captain Dan Connor with OSP. I just sent a text and said, hey, there's a lot of people out here if you get a chance, and sure enough, they had troopers show up. So that's a big help. Big help from our search and rescue unit this year, working the gates, working the crowd, overnight patrol, and then the deputies that were on duty just did an outstanding job. So.
Yeah, I saw that you had at least one of your corrections officers out there working too.
Yeah, we usually, we put a sign-up sheet at the beginning of the year. Anybody that wants the overtime or the extra pay, sign up, fill out a spot that's available for, a shift that works well for you. And then whatever's left over, then we'll allocate that to patrol deputies as far as, people that are off duty that want some overtime or whatnot. And we have a contract with Stock Show too, so they pay a service fee for that as well.
As they should.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of your guys' jobs tonight is to ask questions. Somebody's got to break the ice, but in the meantime, I'll keep the questions rolling. What's new? What's new with Union County Sheriff?
Well, so I mentioned a few months back that we were working on getting a needs assessment on our facility. So I understood where we were at with our current law enforcement building as far as the jail and patrol and La Grande Police Department and whatnot. We've almost completed that. We had some funding come in from Travis Miller at Parole and Probation. He chipped in some money, and then we were able to allocate funding as far as the assessment of the current facility out of the ARPA funding, the American Rescue Act. So we got funding from that, and then the county chipped in the remainder of it. So we went ahead and went forward with a outfit called McKinsey out of Portland. They're the ones that were awarded the RFP. And they came in and basically walked through our whole facility, videoed everything, took measurements, took staffing numbers, parking outside of the building, everything. And actually tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we're going to have a Zoom meeting with them to kind of get a little bit more accurate results on what we need as far as a new facility looks like. They've established that the footprint that we currently occupy for just the sheriff's office and the jail is too small. I believe that building itself was at about 33,000 square feet. And for our staffing right now and for 50-year growth, we're just right at 40,000 square feet that was needed. So that's good to know. A little, it helps me understand a little bit better, because now I know that, there's been a lot of questions about, well, why can't we use that? What's wrong with that facility? And I know I've shared pictures with you as far as just the overall deterioration of the age of the building, but overall footprint, we can't go out on that building. The courthouse is set up about 6 feet taller than where we are at right now. So we can't extend out towards the road enough to make a difference. So that kind of put that spot, gave me the reasons to say, okay, we have to look elsewhere. So that's what we're in the process right now of doing. We're looking at, they're working on the building end of it, what the new jail, what all the office spaces look like, patrol division, and then, on a side thought, we're out, driving around the county looking for places that it could possibly go. So we did ask them to look right there where the commissioner's office is currently at, right across the street from us, to keep it centrally located, with the idea of possibly, and this is just an idea, but tearing down the commissioner's office, the older part of they call it the annex to the Joseph building right there, and then the old building, the crematorium for the hospital, for the St. Joseph Hospital, where the big chimney stack is that goes behind us. We currently occupy that back building with a maintenance shop, and Nick Vora is in there, Union County Emergency Services, and that building's definitely due to be gone. But we looked at that parking lot there and that building, or that lot there, so we could keep it central, and there's just not enough footprint there to do a single story building. And when I say single story, our jail facility has to be single story. The idea behind this is that I can maximize, space, get more bed space, but still do it with a limited amount of staffing. So if we do a 2-story building, we're going to have to, look at 4 or 6 employees on 24/7. Versus now, we're 3 to 4, 24/7 most of the time. And, some facilities can run efficiently off of 2, with an 80-bed capacity, and we're at 37 beds. So that's kind of the idea of a new modular style type jail, something that can be viewed from the control room, 180 degrees, where they can see everything that's going on. And the 2-story platform it wasn't a wise investment as far as money-wise goes. So it would be nice to keep it centrally located, but I just don't think that in fact, I know that footprint's not big enough right there. So, yeah.
So basically, you're trying to find land where you can build something big enough on 1 story, and that's just not going to happen in town, probably. Correct.
Yeah. There's some close places. There's places that we've looked at, like at the industrial park out there behind OSP. There's some acreage out there that the landowner said that he would be willing to sell, but part of the I think it's a CRC, or it's like a homeowners association, that when they established that business park, one of the very last lines on the things you can't do is build a jail. So I don't know why, but it very specifically says no jails. So
it's going to make it hard to build a jail.
I know, and I think that's something that can be worked around as far as building codes and planning codes. But I don't know. But they just run into little obstacles like that. And then we can look and find the perfect spot. But then funding. How are we going to accomplish the goal of funding of something of such a project? So there's still a lot of what ifs, but we're just kind of checking them off one box at a time.
Yeah, so this Zoom meeting tomorrow,
Yep.
They're going to tell you what exactly. I mean, what are we trying to get out of this?
Yes, they're gonna come. They're not. I don't think they're quite to the 3D schematic level yet, but basically it's a layout of a floor plan, and it shows office space, individual offices, jail cells, control room, storage, secured parking. We have no secured parking right now. If we want to impound a vehicle or something for a crime that's been committed, then we have to put that in a secured storage that the tow company has, which costs money. So we need a lot of stuff as far as that goes. But yeah, we're going to look at just lay it all out and say, this is what it looks like. These are where these offices at, storage, IT, everything from, the bathroom size and location to the Sally Port where we come in, to the jail, to the cafeteria, to everything. So.
And will they tell you this is how much it's going to cost as well?
Not yet, but
We're not to that
we
point
will
yet.
get to that. Yeah. By the time this is all over, they'll give us an idea of what we can expect in today's market. So, and I asked for a 50-year growth plan. So the growth in Union County, as you know, is fairly stagnant, but we do have some things that are. New housing complexes and stuff. I know the school is wanting to, of course, increase their staff and students and stuff. So the 50-year growth plan, I think, was a responsible request. So we don't 20 years down the road be looking at, oh, we're out of room again. No, I don't want to be that guy. No.
Right. So somebody break the ice. I'll keep asking questions as long as you guys don't. But I see people are watching. In the meantime. One of the questions I want to ask the viewers is we can basically get anybody in law enforcement on this show with Cody and I. Who do you guys want next? I mean, we've had Nick, we've had Chief Bell, we've had Dane, we've had
Tony.
Humphreys, we've had
Justin.
So anybody in law enforcement, pretty much. I mean, if you want, we've had Baldovino. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you guys give us some ideas on what you want to see, and Cody and I can make it happen, pretty sure.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, let me ask you another question.
All right.
What are your struggles right now, Union County Sheriff?
Struggles is the same, like Chief Bell said the other day, our mental health situation, it's a constant struggle. It really is. Mental health and let's say homeless, but the transient population is it's a constant struggle. It takes up a lot of our time in law enforcement, and a lot of frustrating. There's no ends to the means or means to the end. That's probably the biggest frustrating thing right now. Just where we are as a state in the nation when it comes to the lack of facilities for folks with mental health and addiction. We have a lot of stuff locally here that a lot of great organizations provide and stuff, but really, we don't have an answer to get these folks cleaned up and get them off the street and give them a place. And again, it's a choice for the addiction end of things. Mental health wise, though, we don't have the facilities across the state where we have the open beds where we can get somebody and get them actual treatment and get them help. So we see a lot of the same people. We arrest. A lot of folks that shouldn't be arrested. I should say shouldn't be arrested. I mean, they break the law, they commit a crime. But putting someone in jail is not the answer to a mental health crisis. And that's a lot of times what we end up doing. And that's frustrating. Because we know that we have to solve the problem, whether it's downtown or out in the county, they're creating a problem. We have to solve that problem. And sometimes the quick fix is jail or the hospital here, Grand Ron, and it's just not it's a temporary fix, and it's saddening. So that's our constant frustration, I would say. Staffing-wise right now, we look good. We're full on patrol for the money that's allocated. Just got the new budget process through and got that passed, so we'll start into some new funding in July. Corrections, we have Caden Chandler. You remember him from high school?
I do.
He's down at the academy right now as we speak, in the Corrections Academy. And then things keep rock and rolling. Search and rescue. If anybody's ever interested in volunteering or giving back to this community, I'm going to give a plug for Nick, because search and rescue Search and rescue is something that we as a county, I'm going to tell you that we cannot function without it. Without those volunteers, there's a lot of just nasty situations that happen, and it's volunteers that step up with their own equipment, their own time, the time away from their family, their own skills, and they come and they save people's lives. Today, I got a call a little after 7 this morning from emergency manager Vora. We had a rafting accident down below Minham Park. It was in a little sliver of Union County that's just below Rondow, and Wallowa County Search and Rescue. They were helping out. We were helping them. They were helping us, but all volunteers. At a drop of a hat. They've got a raft out there. They're blowing up the raft. They're throwing all their gear in, and they're floating down the river to try and get to these people. Life flights coming, National Guard's coming, but ultimately, we had a handful of volunteers down there that have no other reason to be doing this. Definitely not for pay, other than just the goodness of their heart and wanting to help out. So you don't have to possess any certain skills. Search and rescue is a gamut of folks, from retired law enforcement to bankers to dog handlers to, everything. Anybody that's interested in going on a hike and looking for somebody, give us a call.
Going on a hike and looking
give us a
for
call.
somebody,
Yeah.
huh?
Big shout out to our search and rescue crew. They're amazing. We have, I would say, our search and rescue locally here, Union County, stands out and is one of the premier agencies across the state, if not across the nation.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, the group of people we have is extremely talented.
Mayor Rock says, "Good evening, gentlemen." I'm gonna put him on the hot spot
All
real
right.
fast. Come up with a question for Cody,
Yeah.
Justin. We're waiting. In the meantime, let me give a shout out to the Safe Ride program. It's so awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It really is, huh? Loveland.
really is.
Just
Yeah.
the amount of rides. I did that ride along with Jerry.
Yeah.
I think, was that New Year's Eve? I think it
so,
was.
yeah.
And I got off work at my other job, and he picked me up, and I rode with him from about 10:30 till about 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And man, it's awesome.
Wow.
Just the smiles on people's faces, and you get to see the full gamut in those 3 hours. Like it went from the arguing couple to the mom and the son, the mom wanting to get a ride to a party and the son saying, "No, mom, you're going home," to the group of husbands and wives that are going home to the barn. You know what I mean? Like, just it was amazing, and they do a great job.
They do. And again, all the volunteers that help out with that, all the people that are out there, Jake and Ryan and John, and even my son's driven for them. I mean, it takes a group of people that just have the heart and desire to, want to keep people safe,
Yeah.
And they, and none of them will tell you they're saving lives. They're very humble people. They're just driving, trying to keep people safe. But ultimately, that's all it boils down to, is it's a group of people that are saving lives.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about that ride along was I got to swap vehicles and interview Ryan and Jake that night.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see that, it's on EO Live. That whole, we even re-uploaded it because we had some sketchy internet. Kind of like when we did the ride along with you, we re-uploaded all the video from the actual recording, so it's clear.
Nice.
We need to do that again soon, sometime for this show.
Yeah.
Still waiting on questions. I'm going to ask you another one. So obviously the mental health thing is an issue, and obviously drugs.
Right.
Where are we at with that, like the drug problem in Union County?
Well, I'll tell you, the drug problem as a whole across the state, I think people are waking up and realizing that Measure 110 was a mistake and it's a complete failure. We have recent studies that Lieutenant Helter put on my desk that I was going through the other day. From one of the universities around that did a complete study on it, and it has been an absolute failure. A great thought process of how to fix this problem, but putting the cart before the horse and saying, we want to enact this, but yet we don't have the resources on this end to provide the service that we're promising. Measure 110 was to decriminalize it, to keep people out of jail, to offer them a spot. To, instead of going to jail, here, go to treatment. But again, nobody makes that phone call. And if they do make the phone call to the state, they're sitting there on hold or nobody even answers. If they do answer, sorry, we don't have a bed available for you. But thanks for calling. Let the judge know you called and you'll drop your ticket. So it's but what I'm getting at is I think that the eyes are opening. I would like to see I would assume we're going to see here sometime in the near future some type of repeal come out for that, or possibly some different measure that redirects that somehow, some way. So, but yeah, it's hard. You know, I have law enforcement. We have responsibilities in this community, and it's hard to answer to you know, the citizens of Union County that are frustrated and fed up with the drug use and everything that goes with that. You know, the break-ins, the robberies, the vandalism, the thefts. You know, we have a lot of hard-working people out there that show up in the morning and all their tools are stolen. You know, because somewhere down the line, somebody's feeding an addiction, and you know, they're breaking in, stealing stuff, and selling it for pennies on the dollar. You know, family heirlooms. You know, important stuff to people that really don't have any market. Like Mike Becker, he lost a couple of things, but one of those things was a saddle that had a lot of sentimental value to the whole family.
Right.
And you know,
and those kind of things, you aren't going to get like premium dollar for that kind of stuff.
Somebody's going to sell it for $20, and it's going to end up in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, it's a hit. It's one hit to
exactly.
It's one pill.
Exactly.
To an addict.
Yeah. So that's frustrating. So I don't have answers for folks that are calling, wanting answers or consequences for these people. And you know, for me to say that, I don't ever usually say that we can't do anything, but I kind of explain, hey, you know, this is what we can do, and it's usually not enough. You know, so that's frustrating.
I think we've talked about this off camera before. One of the things that I fear is that people are going to just start taking care of the problems themselves.
You know, and honestly, I don't fear that. You know, I look for the day when folks start standing up for themselves again. You know, somebody comes into my house and I'm home with my family there, they're going to die. And I'll put that on record. You come into my house when you're not welcome, you break into my house. If I'm in fear for my life or in fear for my wife's life, you're going to die. I will shoot you with every bullet in my gun. And I don't care what Oregon says, there'll be more than 10 rounds in the magazine. So I look forward to the day that people have finally had enough. You know, I don't encourage, you know, vigilantism. I don't want people to take the law into their own hands or anything like that. But there's going to come a time where, you know, somebody's going to get caught in the wrong spot and somebody's going to say, I'm sick of it, I'm done, I've been pushed to the limit, I've called law enforcement, it hasn't helped me, I've called law enforcement again, I've called my insurance, I'm tired of being victimized, I'm a hard-working blue-collar person, and damn it, I'm sick of this. And, you know, somebody's going to get a hold of somebody. And that, you know, will set the tone across the board for a while. But, you know, that's why we're here in the meantime. Law enforcement, you know, please call 911 if you have an emergency. Don't take it into your own hands, but at the same time, you have every right to defend yourself. You know, so yeah.
But it also puts people in a weird position too, because I've always thought, you know, like I feel the same way. Like I'll defend my family, myself, but at the same time, the last thing I want to do is shoot somebody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only for the implications when it comes to the courts and, you know, protecting yourself there, but like the implications when it comes to mental health, like when you have to kill somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have officers across the state that struggle with, you know, post-traumatic stress from things that they've seen, things they've been involved, from shootings, from deaths, from car wrecks. Some good friends of mine that, you know, are struggling on a daily basis with just reliving those moments going through their head. So yeah, I don't wish that on anybody. And I talk big about it, you know, come into my house, I'm going to shoot you. But ultimately, nobody wants to go down that route. I sure don't want to go down that route. And not only that, but at one point, at one time, all bad people were good people. And I say bad, there's not bad people, but there's people that make poor choices. And
no, there are bad people.
There is some genuine evil out there. But somebody that's suffering from addiction or stuff, that's not in their right mind, that's on their last resort, doing what they can to survive. And then, you know, something happening like that, and living with, you know, that person's family or that person's history or the road that they were on, you never know until after the fact. So I'm very empathetic for those situations, but at the same time, you know, people have had enough. Yeah. Yeah,
it's tough, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Keeping it clear with Cody Bowne. Think of some questions. We're going to take a quick break. This is brought to you by Loveland Safe Ride. And like I say, it saves lives. It's a program that picks people up during the main events, Beer Fest, Stock Show. There's a list of them, New Year's Eve, and gives people rides home. And it's really cool. We'll be back right after this.
Want to keep yourself informed with relevant news and events in Eastern Oregon but don't have much time on your hands? Well, here on EO Alive, we pay attention to what's happening in Eastern Oregon and deliver the news in 2 minutes or less on our evening news roundup. You can expect to get your news delivered right to your Facebook and Instagram feed every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. We'll keep you in tune with Eastern Oregon, and you can count on that. EO Alive, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Now on Roku.
Welcome back. Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowne, brought to you by Loveland Safe Ride. It's an interactive show, although nobody's really interacting. But I don't mind, because I'll ask Cody the questions. Cody, let's talk about the vehicle fleet. What do we got going on there?
Yeah,
Some new stuff going on.
the vehicles are finally starting to roll in. We, as some of you have seen throughout town, we have a new decal scheme that we're going with. Something that kind of got pushed out due to the whole politically correct thing and the offensive stuff. But we put on our vehicles our new decals that have the thin blue line flag, which represents law enforcement. And in the middle of that, we have In God We Trust on that. So department-wide, everybody's excited about that. Other agencies are excited. A lot of positive feedback throughout the county. So I really like that. We just have a new Ford pickup that just came in. Silver 4-door short box. It will get as soon as July rolls around, when the budget comes through, we will take it down to local shop, letter wrap, and have them put that same decal on that vehicle there. We have another Ford pickup that is in the works right now, being upfitted. All the gear, the cage in the back, the radio, the lights, everything getting put on it right now. That should be ready in, I'm hoping, about a month or so, then get that decaled. We also have, we found a Tahoe that was on a lot, I believe, down south in Utah, maybe, just random. One of my lieutenant located it through help of another guy, and we took it as black. I wanted to keep everything one solid color of silver.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep everything like that. So, but the Tahoes are really the best utility vehicle for our department. They're big enough for, as you know, we got some pretty big deputies, so we need a lot of headroom in there. A lot of the gear that they store, the Tahoes, it offers the full bench with the full cage in the back. So transporting of in custodies is nice. We went with the Ford pickups because we couldn't find any Tahoes. So we got those coming, and then we're in the process of purchasing another vehicle for, oh my goodness, Bruce Cheeseman. He's one of my reserve guys that does traffic enforcement out on the highways, and that's his sole job, is traffic enforcement, high-speed stuff, distracted driving, anything like that. And got a new vehicle coming from him, but it's going to be, we just ordered it, so it'll be a few months down the road on that one. But
Nice.
They'll all have the new decals, they'll have the new stickers. So one of these days, when we have a parade, we'll put them all in there so everybody can see each different vehicle. And yeah, but
When you get a truck,
yeah,
you get it. How much does it cost to prep that truck? Like what you were talking.
Expensive.
What's it called?
upfitting.
Upfitting. What does it cost to upfit a truck?
You can add about $20,000 onto a vehicle for the upfitting costs.
And that's like the thing that protects the officer from somebody
Yep.
in the back.
Correct.
All the computer gear.
All the computer gear.
The weapon stanchion or whatever. Is that what it's called? A stanchion
Yep.
that holds the shotgun in the...
Yep. For your long guns. Then you have your computer stand. And then you have, I don't say a hard back seat, but you have a different back seat put in there. All your lights.
Yeah, because they might pee or do
Decals,
something
yeah,
stupid.
puke.
You don't,
Yeah.
You don't want that
Been
all
rolling
over
in the
your
mud or
cloth
something. Yeah. They're hose friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Hose-friendly back seats. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. We try to get everything without carpet. But and then your lights, your sirens, all the wiring that goes along with that, the decals.
Where's the vehicle have to go to get that done?
It's an outfit called ERS, and they are down in Napa.
Oh, so it's not that far
No,
away.
no. We used to have one in Pendleton, also that did our upfitting for us, and they closed down, also ERS. And then Napa was the next closest place. So, yeah, not too far at all. And then the decals, they're all done local. and that's part of the upfitting process as well.
Now, you guys took part in the Touch-A truck or whatever that was this last weekend. Was it
I
called
didn't
Touch-A
myself,
truck?
no.
No,
I
but you
wasn't
had
there.
Union County guys there.
Had one guy down there, yeah.
Yeah, Whitty. It had to have been, because there's a video online of my niece, and dude, he made her day. And I tagged him, in, like, 'cause she was, running over there like she sees fire truck, and she hops right up, and he just starts letting her play with all the buttons. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Good. She went to the cop versus the fireman first?
Yeah.
See, that doesn't happen. It's hard for us to get attention when America's Heroes around.
Right.
When you got the hose draggers there, God bless your hearts.
Maybe I don't know which one she went to first.
Oh, here we go.
That's the one I saw. There might have been. I'm not.
Those guys are always the handsomest. It's the best mustache. Everybody loves the fireman. Everybody loves the firemen, which we love them too. I poke fun, but again, a group of people that are out there risking their lives every day for strangers. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
With the new vehicles, the wraps, so that's when you look at those, you can totally tell that this is a bold statement.
It is. Part of that. When I was campaigning, running for sheriff, I said I just want to inject a little bit of me into this program. The former sheriff did a good job of building it up and hiring great people, and I wanted to tweak a few things here and there. I am not the most politically correct gentleman in the world when it comes to catering to something that maybe someone finds offensive. In God We Trust is something that our nation was built off of. Those words, our founding fathers, every piece of money that's in your pocket, our nation was built off of In God We Trust. I don't personally, I'm not the most religious person in the whole wide world, but I know at times during this career there's been something else that's kept me alive. And if those, I answered a question to somebody that wrote me an email about it, they found it offensive. And I said, frankly, I don't care if you find it offensive or not. If those 4 words get a deputy home or get them through the most miserable time or give them something to believe in, I don't care. It's something that, our freedom as law enforcement, our freedom to believe in our country and to do what's right and give us something to believe in out there doesn't end at your feelings. I don't care if it offends you or not. It's something that our office believes in, law enforcement across the nation believes in, and it's been pushed aside because it's been offensive. We have some departments throughout the state that have completely thrown away or in policy, not say outlawed, but in policy have stated that no blue line apparel, no flags, references, stickers will be allowed in their department or on their city property or whatnot. And that to me, if someone wants to fly any flag that they choose, they're welcome to do that. That's their freedom of speech. I know we are funded by taxpayers and whatnot, and I believe that the majority of Union County citizens, believe in God and appreciate that, and they recognize that thin blue line is, the line between good and evil. And that's, I'm sorry, but it's not just a cop in a uniform. Those are husbands, wives, fathers, sons, daughters, and everybody needs something to believe in, and it stands out. We had 3 different drawings to choose from. I told Lieutenant Woodward, have them draw up 3 things. This is what I'm looking for, some type of tattered flag, something, but it will say In God We Trust. And they had, basic stickers like we have on some of the older vehicles with just the star and the stripe. And then they had some real extreme wrap from start to finish, and then this one was in the middle. And I said, I want that one, the one that was extreme, just to watch the look on his face. Like, okay. But we ended up going with the one that's on there now. And it is loud, it is extreme. But I want people, I want us to be seen. I want people to know who we are, that we're there. The In God We Trust is reflective. It's just, I want people to know that we're out there doing our job and they can see us and recognize us and we stand out, And what's nice about it is that the price on those decals, that wrap, is no different than the price of the boring old yellow ones that we had. So I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And it's local. We have a local letter wrap. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but Rob Speedy Delivery. local guy that, delivers everything from everywhere. He's got several people that he employs, and letter wrap. That gentleman actually used to work for ERS over in Pendleton. He did the first one over for us there, and then they moved over here. And whatever I can do to take the money that's taxpayer money and put it back into our community, then I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's change subjects a little bit. I think it was last week we had Chief Bell on, and one of the things that I asked him, and it's something that I've been kind of paying attention to, is the whole movement of auditors. These First Amendment auditors. What's your take on that, first off, and have you had it happen to you personally yet?
Yeah. When we had the BLM rally right down here on the corner, we had, there's always somebody that, this instant gratification with social media. They want to put something out that grabs somebody's attention, and law enforcement's a great way to do that, especially people that, think that we're doing something wrong or, know the law better than we do or whatever. And there are people that know the law better than we do. We're not end all be all. If somebody wants to videotape me while I'm doing something, I'm all for it. I'll interact with them. I'll just be me, and I think that it kind of takes the steam out of it when they don't get the tough, gruff, salty cop that says, "No, get out of here. You can't record me." Well, all you're doing is feeding into that fire. You're just fanning it up. If you want to record me, record me. I don't have anything to hide. If I'm doing something wrong, call me out on it. I'm going to learn just like the next guy. I don't agree with some of the audits of how they've been very intrusive. We bottom line, we have a job to do, and safety is a priority. So we need to get out there and control the situation immediately. And sometimes that is directing people on which way to go, when to leave, when not to leave, who to talk to, who not to talk to. To de-escalate a situation can be something as simple or as tough as our words, but then a lot of times things get physical. And people employ us to take care of this job and do this job, but they don't always want to see how we do it. They don't want to see some of the violence that has to take place. There's been multiple times where quick, stern training that we've been trained with, violence is the answer to immediately solve a problem or to keep people safe. And that, some people don't necessarily agree with that, but most of them have never been in the profession or have the training that we do or understand, how south things can go, how quickly things can go south. So I'm okay with it. As long as it doesn't interfere with the investigation or impede me from doing my job or my deputies from doing my job, record away. Because honestly, you know what, if I can get, 1 million views on TikTok by doing it right, put me out there.
Yeah.
Put me out there. But it's always clipped and audited, and they take what they want, put it together, and piece it back together. But, honestly, it's part of our Constitution. It's no different than the other part of it. Freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and if you're in a public place, people can video you.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Get out of here. You can't film.
And most of these guys, they start off like in a library or in a post office because they know that these places are going to be like, you can't film here.
Right.
And then they're going to call the cops.
Yeah.
And that's what most of them want is they want that interaction with the cops. They want the cops to say, you know what, library, you're wrong. This is a public place. Yeah. And then when the problem is when they don't do that, right. Then they start badgering and kind of trying to get the cop to react.
Yeah, and we're not there. I guarantee you, we're not there because you're videoing. We're there because somebody called and said, I want this person off my property.
Right.
I want this person out of the post office. I want this person out of the library. It might be open to the public, but it's just like the schools. You go into a school, sure, it's open to the public, but that administrator can say, I do not want you here. And it doesn't matter why. You can deal with that later on, but I'm there because someone says this person needs to leave our property right now. So I don't care if you're videoing, I don't care what you're doing. I'm there responding to a call for help to get this person out of here so that it turns into a trespass situation. So, I'm lawfully there. You're breaking the law by not leaving. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they always find a way to flip it, though.
Absolutely.
These auditors.
Yeah.
And that's where they make their money.
They do.
I mean, there's guys that travel around the United States and just do this as a job. They make money off of social media. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I like the accountability part, but I don't like the badgering part, like the
For sure.
trying to get a reaction. Like if somebody came to my job and did that to me, they'd get a reaction. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Right?
like
Yeah.
there's the door, and you're probably going through it.
Yeah. And that's just, the lack of respect that a lot of folks have.
It's weird. This world that we live in is weird, man.
Yeah.
It really is. As far as Union County Sheriff, how's Dane and the canine doing?
They're doing good. They're doing
Yeah,
good.
what's new there?
I believe Dane is still in Mexico. Might have just got back. They took
Oh,
a
yeah.
bunch of high school kids, yeah,
A whole
including
group
their
of them.
daughter, yeah, down there for a senior trip.
Must be tough.
He's been doing a lot of ATV patrol for us right now. So up in the hills, he's usually on a mid shift, a swing shift where it overlaps. So we contract with the state, gives us a certain amount of money to provide extra patrol, ATV patrol. Just up there keeping people safe, letting them know we're there.
Kind of like what Hernandez does in the summer too.
Yeah, same thing. Yep,
Same
yep,
exact
same
thing.
thing. Yep, yeah. Hernandez is on ATV patrol. Deputy Humphrey is the other SRO for the county. He's been out with a knee replacement. So he should be coming back here in a few weeks, I believe, maybe right as school starts again. So, but yeah, they're all staying busy. They all got a lot of casework to do. We have, our detective division, Detective Graffunder. I mean, he's constantly busy, doing the stuff that people really don't see, or the sex abuse and the child crimes and the domestic violence. And that
What
type
a
of stuff.
crappy job.
Yeah. But he's really good at it. He does a good job. He has good relationships with the other entities throughout the county, and from the DA's office to whoever that may be, the Shelter from the Storm, all the entities, Mount Emily Safe Center, all the people that play in that role. You have to have a good working relationship. So that's what I like about our guys, man. All of our guys, for the most part, they can talk to just about anybody. I don't have anybody that's Mr. Grumpy Pants, Mr. Salty Sarge. I don't have any guys that are unapproachable. Sometimes they have bad days.
Of course.
They're like, Sheriff, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't have time for you right now. Yeah.
Run along.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a great office. I'm very proud of the law enforcement, and through the city as well, and through the state. Great partnerships, and I'm very proud to be part of Union County law enforcement, for sure.
Right. We're going to take one more break. This is brought to you by Loveland Safe Riding, and Cody and I are going to come back and wrap it up.
All right.
Here in Eastern Oregon, we're blessed to live in such a wonderful area. And though it may seem mild-mannered, there's actually quite a lot that goes on in this area. And apparently, there's two dinguses who happen to be here that are actually crazy enough to get up at the crack of dawn to talk about it. Tune into AM Live on EOA with Brent and Doddsy, featuring special guests, weather, sports, news, and more, every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m., only on EOA Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Now on Roku. Eastern Oregon is full of interesting people, with interesting minds and interesting things to say. Here at EO Live, we're committed to connecting you to these intriguing people with EO Talks. We let our special guests share their ideas and life experiences with deep, open, engaging, and inquisitive conversations. You'll also be informed in depth on some of the most recent and relevant events, issues, and more. EO Talks on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku.
Welcome back. Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowne, live interactive show brought to you by Loveland Safe Ride, saving lives. That's all. That's going to be my slogan for it, saving lives, because that's what it does.
Yeah.
We're gonna get out of here soon, but I wanted to ask Cody. He's had a pretty rough year this last year. How are you? How's Cody?
Cody's good.
Good.
And I say that with a hesitation in my voice, but I've had a lot of things go on over the last year. Lost my dad. That was the first person close to me that I've really lost. That's been a learning experience. Going through with his estate and the probate process, and trying to figure out what bills he owed, and it's been a struggle. But finally got that all taken care of. Got that wrapped up. My family, my wife is amazing, my rock, my children, I've haven't always, over the years had the best relationship with my son, and that's coming around. We're starting to talk more, do more stuff together, and his wife, and then my grandbaby, Swayze is, I don't get to see her nearly as much as I'd like to. I'm still working. When I retire, hopefully I'll be able to, spend a lot more time. But by then, she'll be quite a bit older, so I don't want to miss a lot of this stuff. But we're working on that. My daughter's Tori, my middle child. She's working for Dr. Hagedorn at the dentist's office.
She's a total middle child too. She is.
She has her moments.
I like
God
her.
bless her
I
heart.
like her a lot.
She that girl would lose her head if it wasn't attached. I got a call. She was out at stock show, and I got a call from one of the deputies out there and sent me a picture of her debit card. Do you know Tori Bowen?
You should have been like, nope. Let her adult this one out.
A few weeks ago, she was just down in Boise and lost her driver's license and her debit card down there. And it's like, come on, girl.
You're putting her out in front of
Yeah, I'm calling you out. It's time to zip up the wallet or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm very proud of her and her boyfriend, Dawson Gertner.
His dad coached me.
Jeff did?
In football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff was a few years ahead of me in high school.
Yep.
I mean, I look at him, pictures of him, and look at his brother. Obviously they look a lot alike. But I never had the,
Dawson reminds me of,
Really?
looks just like Jeff when Jeff was that age. Because he's about that age, Dawson's age now when he coached me.
Yeah. Wow.
He was, 24, 23, whatever, right around that area. Yeah. 22.
Yeah.
I mean, because if he's a couple years older than you, he's only a few years older than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's Dawson is an amazing young man. I'm very proud to have him part of this family. Kids losing a parent. I know it was at a young age for him, but I mean, they have crossroads. They have a lot of different roads they can turn down. And man, this kid is he's done really good things with his life, and I don't worry about my daughter with him. I know that has a very strong work ethic. He's working for Allphase. He's working on being an electrician, and so I'm very proud of both of them.
He was on that 2019 championship football team too.
Yes. Yep.
He was a cornerback.
Yeah.
I remember him.
And then Kinsey, she's down at OSU. She went to her last doctor's appointment yesterday, and they're going to do an MRI just to look in there and make sure everything's okay. And then she's released and going to stay down there and work this summer and practice, get back up to where she was before she got injured, and then start fall ball.
So she's going to be completely cleared.
Completely cleared, yeah. It's 100% recoverable. It's not something that she even has to wear a brace for. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of building up the strength. She sent her mom and I a picture the other day from one of the upper levels at the OSU football stadium, and she was looking at the stairs, and she's like, I had to run up that 10 times yesterday. So she's just building muscle back. So, I'm excited for her for that. You talk about, a young lady that's mentally tough, she going down there with all the aspirations in the world to be a starting freshman, and that team was just plagued with injuries this year. I think at one point they had 9 kids that were injured on the softball program.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So excited for her for that. She's made some really good friends down there. School's going very well. So I'm super proud. We're empty nesters, obviously, and
you don't even know what to do.
Wife and I sometimes are sitting on the couch and okay,
yeah.
The laundry's done, the fridge has food in it, there's not stuff scatters. Like, what are we gonna do?
Right.
So things are well though. Things
Good.
are well.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna get out of here. Big love to Loveland Safe Ride once again. They give rides to people on these main events, New Year's Eve. It's 22 years now in the making.
I think so, yeah.
And it all started, Loveland tells the story, his best friend got into a drunk driving car accident, and this was the way that he paid tribute to that man. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely wonderful. If you watch this after we're live, like if you go in and watch this video, if you're watching it right now or later, type a question in and I'll ask Cody the next time we do it. We can kind of operate like that. I always check all the questions. A lot of them do come in after we're live, and I kind of carry them over for the next show. Anything else you want to say?
No. And to add on to that, if anybody ever has any questions for me or whatever, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm an open book. My office door is always open. You're welcome to come on up, check things out. If you have questions about the jail yourself or the patrol facilities or the building, a tour is just a phone call away. So, and anything that I can do to open up the eyes to the general public about what's going on or what we do, just please give us a call. And I am very busy, but it's not an inconvenience. It's important to me that everybody knows what's going on with their sheriff's office. So,
Awesome. Appreciate you, Eastern Oregon. Till next time, keeping it clear with Cody Bowne.